Welcome. Call the meeting to order. To begin things, I think we have two individuals who want to make some comments to us from the public. Are they ready?
Mr. Chair, our public speakers actually have not joined the meeting,
Oh, okay.
but I would let the members know that there was some written testimony that was provided. We shared that out with the members via email this morning, and we will add that into the agenda that is published on the website and republish it as soon as the meeting's over.
Okay, so when they get here, just let me know. We'll make time allot them some time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Before Alex gives his report, I just wanted to say sadly that Brian Gibbons, because of his work commitment, had to resign from the commission. Really sorry to see him go. We have sent him a governor's citation thanking him for his 7 years that he was on the commission. So he really brought some valuable information to us and background that was very useful. So we're going to miss him. Alex, you want to go ahead and start your report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to you, Vice Chair Eberhardt, and members of the commission. It is great to see you today, and as we have, again, a somewhat lengthy agenda, I will keep my report short while remaining available to answer any questions that you might have. First today, I will make brief mention of our continued outreach work. In the past few weeks, I have continued to engage in person with our school districts by visiting 3 school districts in addition to others virtually, and by presenting to stakeholders at the spring conference of the Maryland Association of School Business Officials, or ASBO, in Ocean City. And tomorrow I'll be out in Allegheny County visiting the elementary school there that was damaged by the recent storm-related flooding. I have extended invitations to other districts to contact me to arrange for visits with them and or to their counties to discuss how we can expand our collaboration to support achieving portfolios of school facilities that are both educationally sufficient and fiscally sustainable. Second on today's agenda, item 3 is a request to approve the proposed standards for school mapping data that the IAC has developed pursuant to legislation passed last year. Since July of last year, IAC staff collaborated with staff from the Maryland Center for School Safety and the Maryland Department of Information Technology to engage many different stakeholders through a series of more than 16 meetings over the course of many months to obtain input prior to drafting and then on 2 separate iterations of draft standards. IAC staff took public comment in 2 separate 30-day comment periods, one in January and one in April. IAC staff crafted the second draft with very explicit care to mirror the specific requirements listed in the statute, to ensure that we align the standards with not just the letter of the legislation, but also the intent of the legislation sponsor, Senator Guile. We submitted the draft for her review before bringing it to you, and she approved it. I'm very happy that these proposed standards will provide clear guidance to Maryland school districts that may choose to seek state funding to support the mapping of their school facilities to facilitate emergency response and first responders. This concludes my report for the month, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Alex? What is going on? You're talking about Williamsport?
Westernport, yes, Mr. Chair.
Westernport. So what's the situation there? Do you have any sense?
Yeah, so currently the school is closed because of the flood damage recently. And the students had some temporary space provided to them at Frostburg State University. And Allegheny County Public Schools is working now very hard to set up the repairs needed to ensure that the school can open in the fall for the new school year. And IAC staff are working to support them in getting those projects moved forward. I just wanted to get out there myself directly and put eyes on, and so we'll be
How
meeting
extensive is the
them.
damage? You have any sense monetarily?
Yeah, it's going to be well over $1 million worth of damage because of the flooding essentially ruined most of the first floor of the building. And that means there needs to be, repairs or replacements to a number of building systems and to the interiors of the first floor of the school.
So it will be open next September?
That's Allegheny County Public Schools' intention and plan, and we'll be right there to help them with even emergency funding if needed to help that happen.
Okay.
Alex,
Mr.
where did they
Danberg.
put
Yeah.
where did they put
Sorry.
the displaced students?
Well, it happened very shortly before the end of the school year. My understanding is that they got space at Frostburg State University for the students for the short time, and then now they're going to have the summer to effectively get the school repaired and ready for the fall. So hopefully they won't need swing space in the fall, but this
And
is a short period of time to do the repairs.
what's the likelihood of another flood? I mean, do they have to change some
Well,
design or?
That's not clear yet. We have engineers that will be, well, they have engineers that will be really looking in depth at at those questions, and we're certainly monitoring that analysis to make sure that we can see what we need to see as well. But not answered yet.
Any other questions? Okay. The consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review it? And do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner makes a motion, Senator Law seconds. All in favor, say aye. Raise your
Aye.
hands. Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3, the item that Alex has talked about a little bit, the IAC school mapping data standards. Alex?
Okay, so first I'd like to check and see whether our two registered public members of the public for testimony have been admitted to the waiting room or not.
Not yet, Mr. Chair.
Alex, you want to tell us just briefly what this really does is for this issue?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Appropriate.
The legislation last year expanded the list of items that had previously been eligible through the Maryland Center for School Safety's Safe Schools Grant program to include school mapping efforts that a school district might engage in. And, historically, school districts have maintained floor plans on maps of their school facilities and can share those with first responders and emergency response officials to help them do their jobs in responding to events at schools. But there had not been state funding authorized to support that kind of mapping work previously. So last year, the legislation said that the Center for School Safety must expand the eligibility in its grant program to cover school mapping, and also said that the IAC should establish one set of standards that any mapping that would get state funding would have to comply with. And that's in order to ensure that mapping efforts supported by state money would be including at least the minimum data elements that would be needed or helpful. And so the IAC drafted those standards, took a lot of input from stakeholders, including Maryland State Police, fire marshals, local police, local first responders, 911 officials, etc. And as I said earlier in my initial report, this draft was put out for public comment in April and was also approved by the sponsor of the legislation. And so we feel confident that this is a standard base that can support what the school districts might want to do, and also give the Center for School Safety a clear set of criteria by which to measure any applications for grant funds.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we have a little bit more detail available. I'm going to ask our mapping lead, Graham Twabell of our planning group here to give some introductions. But before I do that, I'd like to take just a moment to express my thanks and appreciation for his excellent work in coordinating this project, as well as the staff of our partner agencies at the Center for School Safety, particularly Jayan Jebaraj, and at the Maryland Department of Information Technology, particularly Julia Fisher, Don Baldridge, and Don Blanchard, all of whom put significant work into the development of these standards. And I think that their work and this effort serves as an example of the best of state government, truly cutting edge work done collaboratively, drawing on the best of the knowledge and expertise of each agency in its area of specialty, and without red tape or turf issues or delays or anything like that. It's a clear success for efficiency and collaboration. And now I'd like to ask Graham to present the item.
Thank you,
Sure.
Graham.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. My name is Graham Twibell. The establishment of the school mapping data program during the 2024 legislative session under House Bill 472 requires the IAC to adopt standards for the uniform mapping of the physical attributes of public schools. The Safe Schools Fund, which is a program administered by the Maryland Center for Public Safety that Alex mentioned, can provide fundings to the local education agencies for mapping of school facilities. And any data produced with this funding is required to comply with the standards you adopt. The development of these standards has been a collaborative process between state, local, and private industry stakeholders with key support from Center of School Safety and State Department of Information Technology staff, as Alex mentioned. IAC staff recommend approval of this item, and I do have some notes about the funding program that I'm happy to share as well, which is that the Maryland Center for School Safety will be releasing their notice of funding availability the first week of July for the program. Currently, $3 million has been allocated for the program, and it is anticipated that schools will be mapped at a cost of approximately $3,000 per school. This is a non-competitive grant program between local education agencies, so each jurisdiction will have a dedicated amount of funds available. I can now read the motion if you'd like, Mr. Chair.
Please.
The motion is to approve the IAC's school mapping data standards for the Maryland Center for School Safety's school mapping data program pending non-substantive edits by staff.
Thank you, Graham, for all your work. Do I hear a motion to that effect? Mr. Boyd, second by Ms. Everhart. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 4, FY 2025 Capital Improvement Program Funds for Department of General Services Project Reviews. Cassandra?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The IAC periodically approves CIP funding for DGS to contract with outside consultants to supplement their staff capacity for design reviews. DGS reviews project designs in some instances on behalf of the IAC and in some instances on behalf of the state superintendent. Only a small portion of the design reviews are expected to be performed by outside consultants. DGS will continue to perform the majority of the reviews with their school construction review staff. DGS recently procured a contract for design consultants and is ready to utilize some of these funds. So the motion we're putting before you today, Mr. Chair, is to approve the use of $500,000 awarded as part of the FY 2025 Capital Improvement Program for fund consultancy fees for the Department of General Services project reviews in fiscal years 25, 26, and 27.
Thank you. Any questions for Cassandra? Do I hear a motion? Ms. Everhart makes the motion. Mr. Derenberg seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 5, FY 2024 and 2025 Capital Improvement Program project cancellations. Sharon?
Good morning, Mr. Chair,
Morning.
Madam Vice Chair, and the members of the Commission. My name is Sharon Johnson. The staff of the IAC recommend approval of LEA request to cancel 6 projects originally funded through the FY24 and the FY25 capital improvement programs, totaling in $46,244,462. The projects are located in Baltimore County, Howard County, and Anne Arundel County are being canceled due to either fiscal constraints, changes in the project scope, or scheduling issues. The rescinded funds will be transferred to the respective LEA reserve accounts for reallocation to future eligible projects. I can now read the motion.
Please.
To cancel the presented projects awarded under the FY24 and the FY25 capital improvement programs and transfer $46,244,462 in rescinded funds to the applicable LEA's reserve fund accounts for future eligible construction costs.
Thank you, Sharon. Any questions on this issue? Do I hear a motion? Motion by Ms. Eberhard, second by Mr. Derenberg. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Item 6, FY 2024 and FY 2026 Capital Improvement Program Amendments, Baltimore City Public Schools. Gene?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the Commission.
Good morning.
City Schools submitted a request on April 28th to rescind the design funding awarded to Baltimore Polytechnic Institute and Western High School renovation project, originally awarded in the fiscal year 2024 Capital Improvement Program. Recently, at the March 13th IAC meeting, City Schools obtained Build-to-Learn funding approval for both of these projects and has been working with the Maryland Stadium Authority, who has directly contracted the design for both projects. As such, City Schools has requested a rescission of these funds so that they may be applied to construction funding through an amendment to the fiscal year 2026 Capital Improvement Program. I will now read the motion, which is to approve Baltimore City Public Schools' request to rescind the fiscal year 2024 CIP design funding award of $6,882,000 for the renovation of Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Rescind the fiscal year 2024 CIP design funding award of $5,078,000 for the renovation of Western High. To transfer the funds to the LEA's reserve account and amend the fiscal year 2026 CIP to include the above referenced project and award the same funding amounts from the LEA's reserve account as construction funding.
Thank you, Gene. Do I hear a motion? Mr. Derenberg makes a motion, second by Mr. Boyd. Questions, discussion on this issue? All in favor of the motion, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Item 7, FY 2024 and FY 2026 Capital Improvement Program Amendments, Baltimore County Public Schools, Halethorpe Elementary, HVAC and Open Space Enclosure Project. Lisa?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. Baltimore County Public Schools was awarded funding through the FY 2024 Capital Improvement Program for the Halethorpe Elementary School HVAC and Open Space Enclosure Project. Design was completed and the project was advertised for bids. Unfortunately, no bids were received. Therefore, BCPS has requested to rescind the project from the FY24 CIP and amend the FY26 CIP for it to be included. This will allow BCPS time to reevaluate the project, verify the scope and schedule, then re-advertise the project for bid. I will now read the motion, which is to cancel the Baltimore County Public Schools FY 2024 Capital Improvement Program Halethorpe Elementary HVAC and Open Space Enclosure Project and rescind the $3,557,400 award, transfer rescinded funds to the LEA's reserve account, and amend the FY 2026 CIP to award the Halethorpe Elementary HVAC and Open Space Enclosure Project $3,557,400.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there any questions for Lisa on this issue? So what seemed to be is it out of line, the number, or what's the problem, Lisa? What was the problem?
I believe it's the timing of when bids were advertised with some other projects that were currently out to bid. Baltimore County's been successful receiving bids on other similar projects. I think it just ended up being a timing issue.
Okay. Do I hear a motion? Mr. Derenberg, second by Ms. Everhart. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 8, FY 2026 Capital Improvement Program Amendment, Calvert County Public Schools, Sunderland Elementary HVAC Project. Lisa, again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Calvert County Public Schools was awarded design funding in the amount of $78,400 through the FY 2024 Capital Improvement Program for the HVAC replacement at Sunderland Elementary School. CCPS provided a construction estimate in September 2022, which the FY24 CIP award for design was based upon. Construction bids have now been received as of April 16th, 2025, and came in over the original estimate. CCPS is requesting to increase the amount of state funding to be used for the design in the amount of $1,770 based on the higher cost of construction by transferring the funds from their reserve account and applying them to the project in the FY 2024 CIP. I will now read the motion, which is to amend the Calvert County Public Schools FY 2024 Capital Improvement Program Sunderland Elementary HVAC project for design by applying $1,770 from the LEA's reserve fund account.
Thank you. Any questions for Lisa on this issue? Do I hear a motion? Motion by Ms. Everhart, second by Mr. Boyd. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 9, Built to Learn Project Program Amendments, Baltimore County Public Schools. Lisa?
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. At the July 11th, 2024 IAC meeting, the Commission approved the Built to Learn funding requests for Baltimore County Public Schools for the Dundalk High Solars Point Technical High Addition project in the amount of $22,394,000. I'm sorry, $22,394,000. The February 13th, 2025 IAC meeting, BCPS requested their remaining BTL balance of $5,543,000 be applied to the Scotts Branch Elementary School Replacement Project, which was approved with a maximum state award of $8,341,000. Since that time, favorable bids have been received for the Dundalk High Solars Point Addition project, and has been determined the actual amount of state funding needed on this project is $20,042,000. BCPS has requested to realign the remaining funds in the amount of $2,352,000 from this project to the Scotts Branch Replacement Project, increasing the award to $7,895,000. I will now read the motion, which is to amend the Built to Learn program award for Baltimore County Public Schools Dundalk High Solars Point Technical High School Addition project from $22,394,000 to $20,042,000 for a total of $2,352,000 and increase the BTL award for the BCPS Scotts Branch Elementary Replacement Project by $2,352,000 for a total award of $7,895,000.
Thank you, Lisa. Any questions on this item? There a motion? Motion by Mr. League, second by Mr. Derenberg. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 10, FY 2020 Healthy Schools Facilities Fund and cancellations, Montgomery County Public Schools lead remediation project. Sean? Can't hear you, Sean, for some reason.
How about now?
Good.
Sorry about that. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. My name is Sean Vorsteg, and I'm the Capital Projects Manager assigned to Montgomery County. On May 7th, 2025, IAC staff received a request from Montgomery County Public Schools to rescind $6,000 awarded to 4 lead remediation projects, through the fiscal year 2020 Healthy School Facility Fund program at the Blair Center, the Smith Environmental Education Center, Poolsville Elementary, and Redland Middle. Montgomery County Public Schools has elected not to pursue reimbursement for these completed projects. As the Healthy School Facility Fund is a competitive funding program, funds will be rescinded to the statewide reserve fund to be combined with other remaining funds for the fiscal year 2026 cycle. I will now read the motion, which is to approve the rescission of funding awarded in the fiscal year 2020 Healthy School Facility Fund to 4 Montgomery County Public Schools projects as presented, totaling $6,000, and transfer the funds to the statewide reserve account for future use.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions for Sean? Krishna.
Quick question. I know the amount here that's in question is small, but did Montgomery County give any reasons for why they were not seeking the reimbursement, specifically that the work was completed?
The work was completed. We uncovered that they did not seek reimbursement during an audit, and they had already closed the projects and just elected not to seek reimbursement from the state.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion? Ms. Eberhardt makes a motion. Mr. Darren Burke seconds. Any further discussion before we vote? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 11, adoption of final 14-39-01 and -02 COMAR revisions to align with agency practices. Victoria?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. At the December 19th, 2025 IAC meeting, the Commission voted to approve the proposed changes to COMAR 1439-01 and 02, which aligned regulations with current agency practices. The IAC passed this motion unanimously. IAC staff submitted this proposal for publication in the April 18th, 2025 Maryland Register, and the revisions were published for the requisite 30-day public comment period. IAC staff received no public comments on the proposed change. If approved, these revisions will be official 10 days after publication of this final approval in the Maryland Register. I'll now read the motion, which is to adopt the final COMAR revisions as published in the April 18th, 2025 Maryland Register, Volume 52, Issue 8, page 377.
Thank you very much. One little details. In the background information, I assume that meeting was December 19th, 2024?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I just want, in case this is written in posterity. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions to Victoria? Okay, your motion. Mr. League makes a motion. Mr. Tower seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Victoria. I want to thank everybody who worked on that too. It's been a long project for Cassandra and her staff, and took a tremendous amount of work. Thank you. Alex, do you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Just one final reminder that next month's commission meeting will be on the third Thursday instead of the second Thursday. It'll be on the 17th. And so that's a rare calendar adjustment for us, but just reminding everybody of that in advance. So really appreciate everybody's time and support and effort, and look forward to seeing you next month.
Is there anything big coming up? Important? Significant?
Not in July. In fact, our staff's big round of discussions and potentially visits to some LEAs will be happening more in the fall than in the summer this year. And so July is looking to be, fortunately, a little bit quieter month after the hectic legislative session and spring CIP season. So we're looking forward to a small breather
Are we planning on going to Mako again?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be in Mako in August. Yes.
Good, good, good. Do I hear a motion we adjourn? Ms. Eberhart makes a motion. Mr. Derenberg seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hope you have a pleasant June, rest of June and July, and see you